it's Rhea. Wherever you are and whatever time it is, I hope you are enjoying yourself. So, I'm gonna keep this video fairly quick, or at least this portion. So, a while back, you might have saw from my latest silent studies video that I started the 100 heads challenge, which is when you draw 100 heads. It is a challenge started by Ahmed Aldori, and I've actually done it before. I did it back in either 2019 or 2020. I believe it was 2020. So I decided to tackle that again, but I mentioned that I split it into two parts. 50% of it I was going to be doing digitally, and the other 50% I was going to be doing traditionally. So in order to go over both of them and just sort of sum up my entire experience taking on this challenge again, I figured I would show you both of the results since it only makes sense. So first I'll take you through like a quick little mini tour of like the 5 pages that I did here, and then I'll go ahead and show you guys the time lapse of the digital portion that I did. So let's get into it. Okay, so this page, I actually did not mean to like draw on it because it's literally the first page of the sketchbook, so I'm probably gonna rip this page out anyways. Okay, so this was a silent studies video, and so was this. Oops, I exposed the truth. I'm kidding. This is actually the start of the 100 heads challenge. So, since we already seen this one, I'm just gonna like briefly go over it. All the portraits are from Pinterest, of course. That is pretty much where I am always looking to draw portraits from. It just is the most convenient for me. If you want, I can go ahead and link the Pinterest board that I pin all these to in the description. It's like underneath my Pinterest. It's a board called Life References. I actually need to go through and reorganize my Pinterest board completely, but for now, yeah, there's gonna be a good amount of them that I drew from there. Honestly, none of these I'm like super thrilled about. I actually don't mind this one, which is weird because usually the center one I'm not like a huge fan of. Down here you can see this smeared, but it'd be like that. I think I was using, I'm trying to figure out which ballpoint pen I was using. I don't think I was using the Bic one. I think I was using Papermate. So to explain that real quick. This is the Papermate one, Inkjoy, just a regular old Papermate ballpoint pen. I believe this is the one that I used to do this with. If not, then I'm a clown, but I'm sure you could probably check out which one it is in the video. I forgot, honestly, but I'm assuming it was this one. I think for this challenge, at least whenever it came to traditional, I wanted to go ahead and do ballpoint pen this time as opposed to pencil. One, because it looks sharper, like whenever, it's just always gonna look sharper over the years. Like if I store this sketchbook, it'll still have like that sharp ink look as opposed to pencil, which is known to smear. But two, it's also so that way I can not rely so much on erasing and things like that. I really wanted to you know, have what is set in stone to where I can't alter it or anything like that. So yeah. So yeah, and the other ballpoint pen, which I believe I did on the other page, is just this regular, it's probably not going to focus, but it's just a Bic ballpoint pen. I think they're both pretty decent to use, but I think Bic is winning me over just because of, if I compare these two, and I could probably like do a video test on this explaining like more in depth. This one is a little bit more smooth, and it also is a little bit more easy with getting like lighter strokes and stuff depending on the pen pressure. So I do really like that because that's the whole point of a ballpoint pen. At least whenever I go to draw with it, I would like it to be able to get different values based off the amount of pressure I'm using on the pen. This is essentially how the spread came out. For the first spread, I don't think it's that bad. There's definitely a lot of things that could be better, but I think I was mostly just like, you know, testing the waters, and I think it turned out alright. This drawing though bothers me because it's supposed to be of like a little girl, and that most definitely does not look like a little girl, but it happens. I think throughout this challenge I really wanted to go ahead and try drawing different, like, whenever I do this challenge, I try to draw, like, really diverse people, not just throughout, like, races, but also throughout, like, ages and stuff like that, just really unique kinds of, appearances. But honestly, I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you how it is. I got pretty burnt out with this challenge because I wanted to just go ahead and draw whatever I felt like, and the fact that I had to always, you know, I don't have a lot of time basically to draw in general, so whenever I do draw, I like it to be things that I enjoy. And that's not to say that I didn't enjoy drawing these, it's just it kind of got irritating to me because I'd want to draw some like self-indulgent stuff, but then I remembered like, hey, I started this challenge and now I have to finish it. So just make sure that if you start a challenge that you're in a decent headspace to see it all the way through, because I definitely had moments where I was salty. But I mean, we got it done, so. Alright, I've rambled enough, so I'm gonna go to the next page. Okay, so here is the second page, and it is just, you know, more people. It's not like this flip through is gonna be that intense. I actually don't even know like how to navigate this for you guys, but I guess I'm trying to see the ones that I like genuinely like over the others, and the ones that just completely were like, ugh. I can already tell you don't like how this came out, but you guys probably know I really am not a fan of side profiles. In doing these, I feel like there's a huge habit I had of like going to draw it. I wasn't really sure, like I could get tunnel vision on certain things and like hyper focus on certain areas, and then it would leave me to like not really capture the entire thing the way it was intended to be captured, if that makes sense. So I think that's kind of what happens like here and stuff when like the faces get a little bit distorted. It's because I might be focusing on like a specific area of like, oh, okay, the jawline is this long or whatever, but I'm not thinking about it in relationship to other parts of the face. So it's like, okay, maybe you saw that the jawline was this long at one point, but did you think about how long it was in comparison to like, say, the forehead or like the mouth, things like that. So yeah, it's just little things here and there, but I think nevertheless, I do once again really enjoy the shading that I got to experiment with on the ballpoint pen. And another thing is you can see me do a lot of 3/4 view. This is hands down probably my go-to, is like the 3/4 perspective, because I don't know, I've been doing it all throughout my life. It's like if I had to draw something while I just couldn't see for the rest of my life, it would probably be like, this would probably be like my safe space. This would probably be what I'd be able to get away with, to be honest. Yeah, once again, just a lot of different faces, but I mean, they are fairly like, you know, the same. Like, they're all fairly young adults. There's not a lot of diversity on this spread in regards to like appearances, but you know, I do try to switch it up here and there. Yeah, I don't know, I don't really have like a ton to say about a bunch of these, so I mean, I'll just do my best to comment on them and you guys can let me know what you think, but yeah. Here is the next page. Let's see, is that 100 heads? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there we go. Alright, so, yeah, this time you can see that I tried the blue ballpoint pen, and I actually, this is where I used the Papermate one, and then I was like, so this goes into the whole ballpoint pen discussion, debate, war, I don't know, but basically this was used with Papermate, and how you can tell is, as much as I enjoy the Papermate pen packs and how they come in all these different colors, they do this thing where like the nib, like, I don't know, every now and then it'll just like drop off this residue of ink, and that's where all these little like dots that you can see keep coming from, and I was just not a fan of that at all. So as much as I wanted to enjoy, you know, sketching in a different color, I was just completely over like the little dots that I didn't really want on there. But this part is fairly okay, I guess. You can tell that I did a little bit of a different perspective here, but there are still, you know, the basic like faces facing forward, but you know, just trying to take things out one by one. I think it's funny how sometimes I'll like leave the eyes blank, but I think that's because sometimes, I don't know, like I like the way eyes look without them colored in sometimes, like just seeing like me drawing the ring around them. But instead of like going in and adding detail, I just leave it white. I don't know why, but I find that kind of appealing. I think out of all of these, I will crown this one as the somewhat decent one. I think this one's somewhat okay, but oh my gosh. The amount of like European masculine looking people that were driving me crazy throughout this entire challenge was insane. And it's just like, ugh. Because like I originally tried to like draw them because they had really unique facial structures. Kind of reminds me of like, you know, like the Greek statues or Roman statues, that kind of thing. But it just got so irritating to me. I was so sick, I was so done. So yeah, that, and then anyone that had like curly hair, things like that, I eventually was just like, oh my god, this is so exhausting because now I have to actually put in effort, and then my hands were going through absolute hell. So yeah. I definitely, this is what I mean whenever I say burnt out. But I think here I was still just like, you know, once again, trying to get used to things again. And it turned out alright, I guess. You can see that I did once again do one of those little like sticky note placements or like scraps of paper where I try to like redraw something that I didn't like and place it over the thing that I want to be discarded. Yeah, I don't normally do this tactic, but I noticed, I think this time I did it especially because it's like I couldn't erase, so I was like, you know, there's some times where I will give up and just accept not liking something, and that's still what happened anyway, but there's some things that I just draw and I'm like, that's genuinely unacceptable. So alright, go to the next one. Actually, I was wondering if I should go back in and maybe like add a wash of color to these. Like it could be just like all one color, like all one shade, but like maybe with like an alcohol marker or something. I feel like that might be kind of fun. I just feel like that might be, I don't know. I would like something to add even more, so that way whenever I like flip back through the whole sketchbook, when I do like my final sketchbook tour, god knows whenever that'll happen with this, since it's still a fairly new sketchbook, but so that way it is interesting when I look back on it. Okay. Alright, so this is the third page of portraits, and pretty much got all of them except this last one at the bottom here. I'm sorry, oh gosh, okay. So this is a kid, this is a child. Anyways, now that you saw them, I'm moving this to face forward again. Not like a ton to say about these. I kind of was just, you know, once again trying out different kinds of people. Not too different of angles here though, I gotta say. But, you know, this is how it is sometimes. I don't really know what to say, like, I don't know. I don't really feel like this challenge, like, I'm sure that these look better, like a lot better than the ones that I did in 2020, but for me, I'm just kind of like, you know, like a lot of these I feel like could definitely be better, and so yeah, but it's okay. I think like it's always going to be beneficial to do stuff like this because you need to continue to like test yourself and challenge yourself at the things that you feel like you kind of have down. Even if you feel like you've got stuff down completely, it's always good to just, you know, touch back up on it again. So, and then the other side, Oh, okay, so this is actually the 5th page, which means that this is the last batch of traditional portraits that I did. And let me zoom out so you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so yeah, I did, once again, several different people from Pinterest. I did an old lady here, because once again, I did want to like do older people, like draw them, but I didn't do nearly as many as I wanted to in the end. Or like people with like more unique facial features and stuff, it just did not happen, because I just got too tired after a while, but for now, here it is, here we're at. So yeah, I think for the last page, I don't know, a lot of these feel very underwhelming. I don't know, I don't want to say that I'm like disappointed necessarily, but I do feel like I could have done things a little bit better. But I mean, every now and then I'll find a face that I don't mind. So I think, I don't know, I wonder if this is similar to like whenever you, what is it? They say like whenever you take like selfies, or at least I know whenever I take photos of myself or like photos of like something specific, you know how you'll take multiple photos of something? At least if you are a photographer, you're probably used to taking tons of photos of like one thing, especially like during a photo shoot or something. And out of all of those photos, there might be like only one of them or like two of them that you genuinely actually like. It might be the same with drawing, like these portraits. So I think whenever I think about it like that, it feels a little bit better. And then especially like what I said earlier about regardless of how it seems as a result, the work that I'm still putting in is definitely there, and the skills that I'm gaining by looking at people's faces, trying to get a feel for like how their face is structured and like the shadows and stuff like that, that's definitely going to help me later on. So yeah, but as this is the end of the portraits, there's no something else. Well, there's these drawings, but that's something else. Anyways, as this is the last part for the traditional heads, I will go ahead and take you to the time lapse of the digital heads. I just said like 5 times. I'm so sorry. Anyways, we're going to the digital time lapse. Enjoy, and I will see you in probably voiceover format. Hello, it's voiceover Rhea. So we are starting off with the first spread, I guess, the first digital spread for the 100 Heads challenge, and yeah, I think actually this is the one that probably took the longest, and I also streamed this on Twitch, so if you'd like to see the, I don't even know if I got through all of them with this, like during the stream alone. I don't think I did, but if you would like to see real-time footage of me talking with chat and stuff, then feel free to check out that on my Twitch. But yeah, I took way too long doing this. I believe this one took me like probably 4 hours, almost 5 maybe, or more than that. I don't know, I don't remember, but it definitely took me longer than I wanted it to take me, and that's the point. Also, another thing with doing this, I definitely saw the differences between traditional and digital art, which, I mean, that was kind of what I was going for. I wanted to switch it up because I hardly ever really do studies on like my iPad or just doing studies digitally in general. So I wanted to test that out here by incorporating this challenge in a way that I haven't done before, and I think it was pretty interesting. So first off, as you can see, in this one, well, you'll see throughout each one, but in this one, I used, I believe, just like the regular sketch round brush that I use for like all my sketching processes. It's the sketch round brush from Jing Sketch. I either got the trial set or I bought like the first, like the very beginner, like basic set that you can get under Jing Sketch's brushes. And yeah, so just the regular sketch round brush, and I tested out a different brush each time, but this one I thought was pretty interesting. I guess I was trying to like find a balance between a brush that is like will let me shade but then also let me sketch with it too, because I often like to do like I like to shade things sometimes whenever I sketch, as opposed to just like getting the general form out. Sometimes I like to play with how it could also look with a little bit more values added to it. So that's what I did in the first one, and since we already skipped the second one now, I think I used a more like, is it the gloaming brush? I don't know. I should honestly check. I don't know why I'm like this. But if I check, I'll put in like a text box somewhere which ones I'm using for each one. But if not, then it's fine. Don't worry about it. If someone asks and cares enough, then I'll definitely like research it and let you know. But anyways, yeah, I think the whole digital studies thing is fairly interesting. Like I said, it takes me longer for some reason, or I feel like it takes me longer. I think for one, it took me longer because like, how do I put it? Well, one, I'm not sketching with a ballpoint pen anymore, so I can hit undo as many times as I want, and I can also like scale things and move it around, which some people might feel like, oh my god, isn't that cheating? I don't really think it's that important here, because either way, it's more or less kind of just like a quick way of me erasing and redrawing stuff. Um, so like, I feel like I just really like, it shows that I can work with the convenience of digital art, but I can also work with just ballpoint pen if I need to. Honestly, I think doing both is great, and also in this little sketch here, the drawing, I actually like a lot of these drawings, or I think they turned out okay. I like the girl with the braided ponytail, sort of like somewhat in the middle, but yeah. And then, oh yeah, okay, so that time I said which one I was using. So this time I'm using the Jing Sketch, the flat square one. And yeah, I don't know, should I have slowed this time lapse down a little bit? I didn't feel like, I don't know, I didn't want it to be too slow, because it's like, I don't know how interesting this is to you guys. It's literally just me drawing a bunch of portraits, so yeah. And then I think another thing in regards to like this process and like working on these, I think like another reason why it probably took me so long is because I wasn't so much as stylizing them as much as I was looking at the photo and trying to get a little bit more accurate. Towards the end, I started trying to stylize it a little bit more because I was getting frustrated at how long it was taking me to like get things more accurate. But now that I think about the challenge, I wonder if Ahmed meant for people to like stylize it, or if they were just like, yeah, go ahead and draw them exactly as you see them. Because I don't know, I feel like the fact that I was trying to draw them like as I saw in the photo, it was kind of making me like feel restrained, a little bit frustrated, things like that. But at the same time, I still value doing that, because it's like, you know, if I wanted to do a super, like, or more realistic style, then it's like, well, yeah, you're gonna have to know how to work with, like, all the different, like, the lightest bits of shading, and, you know, like, working with different textures, working to convey different values across the face at the slightest bend, you know, things like that. It's just important, so that's what I was trying to, like, keep in mind while working on this, but I would also like to work on stylizing portraits more, because I feel like that's a really nice skill to have. Like, I think that's a really cool thing to do, is to be able to, like, see someone but still draw them in your style, if that makes sense. I feel like a lot of people do it. I can do it, I just don't feel like I do it as often as I'd like to, so who knows, I might do a video doing solely just that. I've done it before, it's pretty fun. And I feel like that would be like my go-to whenever doing studies to begin with, because it is nice to, like I said, to draw someone like exactly as they're seen in the photo, but sometimes it's nice to draw them like in your style and things like that. I know whenever I go to sketch and I use references, it's like, Oftentimes, if I'm using references as like studies, then I'll try to like change up how the character looks. I'll try to like either like say if they have long hair, I give them short hair, or if they like just give them accessories and stuff maybe, or like different something different. It's just nice to switch it up. Also, I must say, every time I do this challenge, or this is the second time I've done it, but also the first time I did it, I do this little like cameo thing where it's like I actually draw a self-portrait of myself somewhere. I'm not gonna say where it is, but I'm just putting that out there. I don't know, I find it kind of fun. I did really like the pencil brushes, or like the more like grainy brushes because of like that nice texture that it gives. But I don't know, because I also like the more, I was going to say the more brushy brushes. I don't know how else to explain it. Like the more like typical digital brushes that are like smooth and things like that. Those are nice too, especially for like shading. I feel like it was hard to find a brush that would be able to do the role of sketching, but then also the role of shading, because say it might be really good for like getting the sketch lines down, but when it comes to like shading in the values lightly and trying out different stuff, it would be a little bit rough, or it'd show a little bit too much texture than I wanted. But I think overall it was pretty nice. But yeah, still a lot of basic mistakes when working on these faces, and I think the fact that once again I wasn't working with ballpoint pens, so I had the ability to erase and I had the ability to like undo stuff. I was like spending too long trying to like fix things and all of that. And yeah, that's what I mean, where if I stylized it, I would probably have to worry less about like how accurate it is and things like that. But another thing I do is like a lot of like scaling and descaling the portraits to try to get them to fit on a layout that looks nice. Yeah, and just things, I guess. I don't know. There's like certain ways that I want it to look, and I think, yeah, maybe the last two specifically, I just end up doing them like in a row, where it's like one row of 5 people and then the second row of 5 people. Lastly, I will say one thing I noticed about doing it digitally instead of traditionally. There's also something about like just the digital interface, like drawing on the iPad compared to drawing on paper. There's just a disconnect, or just something that isn't the exact same. It's not the same energy as whenever I'm drawing on paper, but once again, I've been doing traditional art pretty much a majority of my life. Digital is still very new, like within the past 5 years, so it's an interesting experience. I still value both of them very greatly, so I think overall this was a really nice challenge to retouch, but I'm glad that it is over. I am so glad it is over, so I can finally get back to other things. Yeah, you definitely have to be headstrong to take on this type of challenge, but I think there's a lot to be gained from it. I definitely recommend everyone doing it at least once. So yeah, go for it. I think next I might take on expressions. I do still need to draw hands though. There's so many things. But yeah, I think that's just about all I got for this video. Like I said, it's not like a super eventful one. I just wanted to take you guys through the process of it. It will be exciting though whenever I finally do complete that study sketchbook. But until then, we'll see. But stay tuned for the Meet the Artist coming eventually. Okay, anyways. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed your time here today, please feel free to leave a like. If you're interested to see more of my content, you can always check out my other videos and subscribe. For reference, if you're new, I am Rhea or Etheria, and I like making art and art-related content on my channel. I do try to post weekly videos, but if you'd like more timely updates, you can always check me out on my social media linked in the description and also at the end of the video. Primarily on Twitter and Twitch. But that's all I got this time, so once again, thank you so much for watching, and I wish you a nice rest of your day and week. Take care.